Hello, hello. This is Talk Live. I'm your host, Ambroid. I've got three people with me here. Uh, Digi, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Hello, everyone. Grodigi here. Back again for another shitcoin talk with our fabulous host. So yeah, it'd be nice to catch up with everyone and see what's been going down this week. Handing it over to Renter Rocker.
Hey, this is Renter Rocker. Just glad to be back again, doing a little chatting about shitcoins. I think it's kind of been an interesting week. Hopefully we're seeing things turn around a little bit. I'm optimistic, but I'm always optimistic. So it's a great, big, wonderful shitcoin world out there. Glad to be a part of it. I'm going to pass that over to SoCal.
Oh shit, here we go again. What's up, everybody? At SoCal_crypto on Twitter. What's up? Nice to have everybody back on here again.
All right, let's go over the list of the coin picks that we received from people on Twitter. We've got Rio, Zelcash, XVT. Is that like the newest rebrand of Stellite or what? Zero, Ethergem, Polkadot, Atom, well, that's Cosmos, Digibyte, Burst, Pascal, Dragon Chain, Skycoin, Darrow, Pennycoin, Velas, Veil, Arrow, and we got Denarius requested about 17 times because one of their admins pinged the entire general channel just to tweet at us.
Good job, admin.
So he was very successful in driving people to the show. So wanna do Denarius first, just to get it out of the way. Yeah, that's not that. There's no negatives there. So let's
talk about it. I know their I think it's ring signatures that Carson's working on right now or something. It's some sort of privacy feature that is close to rolling out that he's working on right now for Denarius. I probably should have been better prepared, but yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is, but I know he's cooking something up right now.
Dude's just working on an MMORPG actually. I don't know why exactly you would make a video game that's entirely based on as many people as possible while you're running a small altcoin with a tiny community. Like Denarius prides itself in having no roadmap, so to speak, where devs should work on what the community tells them, but it can get you in some very awkward positions. Like I don't view this as an interesting product for the cryptocurrency.
Just looking through here, it seems like you said, it does have a pretty small market cap, only right around $800,000. As somebody that likes to invest in small caps, it might be something I would look into. Looks like it trades on South Exchange, Trade Ogre, CoinEx. Yeah, so there are markets for it.
It lost Cryptopia. That was the main market. So
we all lost Cryptopia, Android. We all lost Cryptopia. So sad.
Yeah.
Can I have a moment of silence for my Topia bags? Oh, God damn it.
I'm going to pour one out right now for it.
Do it.
Actually, I'm going to drink one I don't have enough money to pour one out because I lost all my money on Cryptopia.
Schlitz is expensive these days.
Hey, it's not Schlitz. It's St. Pauli Girl. We talked about that. I got it on sale though, so it's all good.
Oh shit! We need a fucking alt season, man.
So I'm looking at the chart here. I zoomed in. This was like a weird bump. What's that? 2 weeks ago? No, almost a month ago.
That's interesting.
So this is. I actually remember seeing those spikes up there. I think that was the South Exchange order book getting emptied on several occasions. So that was a weird way to pump the coin, and who knows where it came from.
So, do we think pump group or do we think accumulation? What are we looking at here?
Magic. I think it was impatient accumulation because, as Amber had said, it looked like it was the South Exchange order books getting emptied, and when a thin book gets emptied, it can make a chart do stupid things like that. So,
Especially you don't know how much of the volume was stacked down here in the order book.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly.
Small exchanges typically have almost no orders up here in these areas. It just you could buy this up with 0.001, for example, probably on most of these small exchanges that Rentorct are named.
So yeah, like I said,
wonder-
with those thin books, it's pretty easy to make a chart do wonky things.
Yeah, so I'm watching it. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. The one thing that I would point out is that Carson is like he's got baggage in regards to his reputation. Like with his reputation, I would just
I
start
think
new coin
I
with
think
new identity, dude.
I think he's done very well with Denarius.
No, don't get me wrong. This is like the first project that he stuck to finally. That he just didn't walk away from, yeah.
Yeah, he's kept working on it, and I've continued to support him for it.
Yeah, so like I've been one of the people who have given him benefit of doubt. I talked to him, I defended him when it was appropriate. So yeah, this is like 50-50, you know. You're investing in the person running the project, basically here.
Yeah, anytime you're looking at a coin with that kind of small market cap that's only trading on small exchanges, that's a really good point. Is that you really are putting all of your faith into one person a lot of the time, and their reputation is what all your hopes and dreams are reliant upon, and if it's somebody like Romano, for example. Who is a polarizing figure in crypto, but you can't fault his work ethic. He works on his coin, and if it's a situation where the developer is
dude's a
going to be there,
fucking genius. Like,
pull it out. The developer is going to be there. You feel good about investing in the project if the price is right, But if you think that the developer is going to pull like a John Connor or something, you don't know if he's ever going to show up again.
Yeah, so like VIA is so interesting to me in regards to the fact that the guy took over a project
it's almost had a full
got
retrace.
nothing for it. He had like the pre-mine was still minted. It was held by the original dev, like part of it, as far as I know. And the fucker just took over, and he's still there on Viacoin. What's that, like 4 years now?
Yeah, he basically just started doing it because he liked the coin, liked the community, and wanted to work on his coding skills. And that's basically how he started out with Via. And yeah, he's been there like 4 or 5 years now.
Hmm.
That is one of my bags. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I'm still not held in many alta tools, so not one of my bags. I
Go,
just wouldn't hold it true.
go alts deep, baby.
Yeah, I just wouldn't hold it true. This stuff, like the moment it breaks down this area over here, I'm just tossing it, dude. Fuck it. I'll just buy it later. Because this multi-year support, even mm, if something dumps through it, I'm not touching it.
It's so hard right now because it just seems that everything is sitting on multi-year or has fallen through multi-year support.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
just really hard to decide what to invest in and what not to. And
Well, and then this leads back to what we were just saying earlier. That's where you go to investing in the developer. You know, sometimes you just take a gamble. You know.
yeah, and you're right about that, SoCal, because like I've found that like one of the mistakes I made in the kind of post 2017 euphoria period was I put too much. Um, I got caught up in the whole, everything's going up, every crazy idea is worthwhile, and I got away from where I started, a couple years before that, where I was just looking for new novel things, things that hadn't been done before. And once I kind of got away from that, that's when I started to like make bad decisions and lose money. They got caught up in that whole euphoria thing and think everything is going to be good and everything is going to be going to keep going up and every crazy idea is worthwhile. But really, if the technology isn't there and if the development isn't there and the community isn't there beyond just wanting to see the price go up, then what are you buying? Just a bunch of bullshit.
Thank you for the reflective moment.
This
was it's a very costly reflective moment.
This has been 2017, a retrospective with Rent-A-Rocker.
I mean, just one final point on that, I guess, is there's so
Very
many projects out there in the space as well that, people can be quite picky and choosy on what they decide to invest in and what sort of timeframes they're looking for. So, everyone's got their own kind of outlook on these things. Just because one person does it a certain way doesn't mean that people have to kind of do it the same. So, there's thousands of projects in crypto and there's thousands more to come out. So there's always a lot to look at, I guess.
So from a price perspective, when a breakdown like this happens, this is significant, all because it really indicates that people don't trust the price of this project anymore. It's really mental capitulation. So, from a speculative standpoint, why would you ever want to touch this again? Like, say for the next year or something. Whereas I could buy something new that does not have this baggage with it. I could just buy something overpriced and fancy and popular, but that's going up because it's new. Whereas this is a very strong lack of confidence.
I think you're touching on a good point. Everything's about cycles in crypto, and there's always opportunity regardless of which cycle it is. You just got to be looking at the right place. So inevitably, I assume at some point in the future there will be an opportunity on via, as Ambroid says, mental capitulation, just kind of just goes sideways for a while. People lose interest. Anything that they've had, they might just sell it, whatever. And then once there's basically no sellers left, they're exhausted, then the coin has a chance to move up. But until that point, there may be better opportunities elsewhere.
Yeah, so this is how I view the VIA chart right now. Saying shit. These two are the same shit. So even though you've got this giant bear market behind you, if this kind of stuff happens, I view it as expect, what's that, 1,000 days more, 700 days more of just wallowing in some despair, So that's, when is that? I don't even know. The time doesn't go that far.
Yeah, I think that says it all.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so DG, you've been quiet. Pick out a project from the list.
Okay, cool. Should we bring up Zell? It's a project I like personally. I really like their wallet. I mean, Zell is a coin. I think it came out in like January of last year, around that time. So it's been out about a year and a half now. And I think their most innovative thing, or the thing they've been working on the most, is their Zell Core, which is basically their flagship product, which is basically like a wallet that manages multiple assets. One of the things I like about it, it potentially provides a source of revenue for the project. So I believe they offer premium features. I think the three key things I take away from the Zell Core wallet that I can maybe describe in a nutshell is the ability to manage multiple assets in one wallet. It's not new. Obviously, things like Trezor, NANO, they already offer this. But I think in terms of Zell Core, it's a nice, seamless experience for the user. They don't have to have a piece of hardware for it. So it's basically a software wallet where, they basically just download it anywhere, put in their password, and they're able to log in. One of the things that comes along with that is making sure it's secure. So they have a decentralized two-factor that goes along with it as well. I think the user just needs a small amount of Zell. The other thing I really like about it, they offer the option to be able to trade within the wallet. So you can connect your API to various exchanges. Now, obviously, there's security concerns with that, but I think most users have either or are either using an API to trade on another service, via a bot or something like that. So it's not unheard of. And one thing what I like about that feature, it means you have the same user layout and experience on no matter what exchange you're trading. So I think most of us can relate to this. When you hop from exchange to exchange, one of the infuriating things can be is using different layout and different order models and limit orders, etc. And most people won't admit this, but most of us do fuck up at least one time in crypto where we press the wrong button when we're buying and selling coins. I think this hopefully alleviates stuff like that because it gives you one user platform that you can use on various exchanges that you sign up for. And I think the final thing about this is, it's a really nice user experience. It obviously shows there's a lot of work going into this. I believe they're now building their decentralized exchange, which is due to be launched in Q4 of this year. Two things with a decentralized exchange. How decentralized are these things? At some point, there still has to be a central entity to manage some elements of it. So I think we take that with a grain of salt, as we've seen with IDEX. But B kind of also opens up another avenue of revenue for the project. I think the one thing I'm looking at when I'm looking at projects that are having decentralized exchanges is it alleviates this delisting headache that we talked about last week, especially with Bittrex. So any coin that's listed on a big exchange, and we recently did a review on a project for Proof of Review about this. It got delisted from Bittrex, and there was no real reason given. And I think that seems to be the underlying theme for delistings. Now, unfortunately, the community tend to take a delisting as a massive sign of consumer kind of non-confidence in the project, which is not always the case, and it's very unfair because
It's usually the case, isn't it?
Pretty much, it just kills the project. Everyone just dumps it. It's the first thing that comes to mind. I know as an old school guy, whenever I used to see a delisting at Bittrex notice, I was like, yo, this shit's dead. It's never going to be traded anywhere else. They just dump it. That's not the case, and I've seen plenty of projects recover over the last 3 or 4 years since Bittrex did this and move on to another home. And people remember it got delisted from Bittrex. But cutting a long story short, the benefit of having a decentralized project for an exchange is that their native token or coin never potentially has that risk of being delisted, and it's seen as inevitable that the decentralized exchange will become the biggest market for where that token is traded. It's a win-win for the project who's building something like this, in my opinion, anyway. So that was a nutshell about Zell in terms of fundamentals. Just looking at the chart, I think I'll let you guys talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, the chart looks nice. It's in this nice uptrend actually. This bump was really far and really hard.
It was, and I think this was based on the Zelco wallet, the premium. So people are now recognizing the work that's been undertaken as a minimum working product, not even that, a nice working product for a change in crypto.
I actually tested it. I really liked the wallet.
Yeah.
I was testing mine in it, and I had to download a wallet for it because there were only YM pools and now MPOS pools. So I had to create a local wallet, and I was very surprised with how polished it seemed. Like the first thing that it reminded me of was Coinomi, because this is like one of those very popular PC and Android wallets that have a lot of shit coins on them.
Right.
So honestly, I have no idea how the multi-asset wallet works.
So just a quick rundown. What I like about it kind of looks at 3 different assets, which is basically your majors. So, your LTCs, things with their own blockchain. Also looks at stable coins. So it doesn't just, give the option for one, it gives multiple ones. So if someone wants to hedge in different ones, you can store them all in one place. And it's got a basket of ETH tokens. Now, I believe they've recently, or I think it might have been today or yesterday, done a partnership with NEO. So I think one of the boosts that brings is they're now able to integrate NEO tokens onto their platform as well, which again kind of just really brings it a step forward in that it's offering different types of tokens. So again, it just kind of shows the flexibility of having this to store your assets.
That's an interesting avenue because NEO is fairly dead. So I'm not sure that's the network I would be marrying.
It's a good point. I mean, the only kind of big coin I've heard of on NEO, or token, sorry, on NEO recently is the Nash exchange. I've not really heard of much else or anything that's been talked about a lot. So,
there's Ontology. So that's like the biggest one that might even be bigger than NEO itself. Let me check real quick. So Ontology is 24th. NEO is where? 16th.
Wow. And Zell only has a $10 million market cap, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a tiny coin.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Trade Ogre specials.
Speaking of Trade Ogre, so I mean, I think our following kind of, they're quite knowledgeable about kind of like small cap exchanges. Trade Ogre seems to be popping off at the moment, guys. Does anyone want to talk about anything specific on there? I will be honest, I've not traded on there recently, so I'm not in the loop. But I know a few people have mentioned it on Twitter.
Yeah, I would not I haven't traded on there either, but I've been hearing more and more about it. It kind of makes me want to start exploring that option.
An interesting point that somebody brought up, I think it was mentioned as a joke, but I think it's something deeper as well, is someone mentioned, I assume he's American, is someone said, will you be reporting your trade ogre gains or trades to the IRS? And I think that touches on the point. I think Trade Ogre is one of these few exchanges left that doesn't KYC. And from what I can see, it doesn't seem like they have a plan to, because if they're not doing it now, then I don't assume they will unless they're literally forced to do so. So maybe that's another reasoning behind the coins maybe pumping on there.
I don't know. I think that eventually everything will be forced to.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just a matter of time, and that's fine. But you're right. You know, there's this question of innovation versus regulation, and you know, being an American, I feel like you know, first the lack of like regulation has been harmful because nobody really knows what to do or has known what to do, and then to come in with new regulation and just kind of, I think, you know, overstep what really should be done is just going to harm things, and it's just going to push innovation out of the United States and into other places, because this technology is not going away. It's going to keep changing and keep innovating, and it's like Napster. You know, Napster did to music. It's not gonna go away. We've had that paradigm shift that people talk about, and you know, embracing these new technologies and fintech and is going to be the right thing to do. Otherwise, you know, I mean, how much tax money is the United States going to lose from pushing this offshore? You know, the smart thing to do is to, you know, regulate it and tax it versus just try to stomp it out. So.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Goddamn philosophers today.
Yeah, it feels like that kind of time of year, I guess. People are on holidays, people are sat on the beach or off work. Got kids.
Well, you invited me. You knew what you were going to get.
So yeah, should we touch on another coin?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Anyone want to take a pick?
Rio.
I'm just sharing the Actinium chart over here, because that's the one that's been popping the last few days on Trade Ogre, so that's the one that came to mind in regards to that exchange. So just a quick chart. I would just be tossing it over here because this is a lot of overhead resistance you really don't want to see in front of you.
Yeah, so it's a big wick in that range, right?
This looks topped out, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, all those people want to get out of break even. They've sat underwater for what, like 6 months more?
Yeah.
So, and BTC is worth a lot more than what it was in that November, December, January, February, March range. So if you could get your same amount of BTC back, it makes sense that these people are going to sell at break even. You know, so you might find that it might take a while to kind of pace through that. It might just retrace back. The only thing I would say is, you know, there will be some coins out there like this where, you know, again, once the sellers are exhausted, you know, we might just fly through. But again, that's for one, you know, for individuals to kind of watch the order books, get a feel for the coin.
Okay, what else do we have here? SoCal, you want to talk about something from the list? Nah, he's dead.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted and I was in another screen. My bad. Well, to actually go back a little bit, have a little bit more clarification on that funkiness on Denarius's chart. It was a book clearing. Apparently, somebody bought up a pretty sizable portion of the supply, and no telling how much exactly. I don't know, but it was somewhere in the six-figure range, and there's only like I think 5 million circulating denarius or something. So that's a pretty sizable chunk, no matter what.
So
But anyway,
getting interested. All right.
yeah. So those wonky spikes were some fairly serious buying, all considering the circulating supply of denarius.
So what you're saying, SoCal, is that somebody wanted the D bad.
Yeah, they wanted the D, and they wanted it deep.
That's worth
On that note, so moving-
You set me up for that, dude.
Dude, hey man, this is a team effort here.
Let's move on, please.
yeah,
Yes, going on. We're moving on.
What
I don't know.
I'm
If you guys want to talk about Rio, we can look at that one. Pull up the chart.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say before we touch on Rio, I was going to say, just going through the list of coins, it seems like a lot of these are proof of work coins.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of miners listening today, this week, or what is it?
Yeah. Hey, it's that time of year, buddy. It's that time of year.
Hello, friends.
Yeah.
All right, Rio.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted. Yeah,
I have no idea.
what was it, Rio? How are we calling this? Like Rio and Ken? Street Fighter?
I do, kid.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Just call it whatever. I don't know. It's just in the downtrend, dude.
Yep.
This is just a big no-no.
I mean, if the guy who suggested this is listening, if you want to maybe say something in the chat why you wanted us to have a look. Is there any news coming up on this or anything? Or
It was SoCal that requested
oh,
this.
okay, sorry. My bad. Yes, so SoCal, do you want to fill
Yes, because there is news coming out. I gotta go back. I gotta find it.
You're trying to shill something because it's got news and you don't even know.
Nah, man. I just why not talk about it?
This is how deep you've fallen.
No. No, I just wanted to check it out.
What does this do?
I'm actually it's privacy and it's POW, so I like that obviously, and I'm kind of just checking out all privacy coins in under the specter of looming regulation, kind of just checking them all out really.
So I'm just
Small market cap, only 700,000.
Kryptonite. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. They're
shit revenue. Hello.
Oh no, sorry. Kids. Hang on.
This 1.2% fee in red letters. That reminds me about these new weird projects that have got only very few pools. Like Bismuth comes to mind.
Yep.
And
Oh,
all the fucking pools have 10% fees.
I know, right? Do you remember? Coin devs, if you're listening, we're happy to mine on your pool and support you, but you don't have to kill us with this 10%. You might as well just take that from a block reward rather than putting it on a pool.
Right?
So if any devs listening out there, help us.
Oh, well, we know Carson's listening.
Yeah, no, his pools are legit. So
I mean,
yeah,
look,
thinking,
the egg pool guy is very serious. He's even like the core team now. So
wow.
he's taking both the fee pool, like the fees from mining, and now he's got governance money paying him most likely.
Wow.
But he's been like, and look, he's got 36% of all the miners. So he's taken how much percent?
3.6.
Yeah, he's got
Jesus
0.6
Christ.
of this everyday emission.
Well, there you go. There's your sell pressure.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, it's nice to see proof of work coins are being talked about again.
Yep. Well, I mean, I will say this for the egg pool dev is that he has been there. He was one of the first ones to release the GPU mining for
Yes.
Bismuth. Yeah, he's been there, developing for Bismuth, for the mining
yeah, I
side,
know that. Like,
for the whole time and stuff. He's really responsive and stuff. So I mean, he is a good guy and is a hard worker. I will give him that. But yeah, he is raking it in like Jesus Christ.
No
so
doubt. I mean,
that's like our founders reward more insidious than straight out pre-mine.
yeah, I think it's a hard debate because everyone has their opinion. You know, some guy out there today who said a pre-mine is now acceptable, but it's still not necessary. I'm like, well, what do you just expect the guy to launch the coin with nothing and just, what if the guy hasn't got time to set up his miners, or what if his miners break down? Would you rather the dev be, competing with you to mine the coin than him to develop it? So there's a fine line around it, I guess. Yeah. If I get started, I know I'll go on a rant, so yeah, I'll just keep it to that.
SoCal, pre-mine or founders rewards? You're muted.
I think founders rewards because that is more stretched out and incentivizes longer term commitment other than a upfront pre-mine where that really more incentivizes dumping at the very euphoria wave top and moving on and doing it all over again under a different coin. So yeah, I think as long as it's a reasonable founders reward, something like 1% or less, or like that, yes, okay, that's something reasonable. But like a 10 or 20, 30% pre-mine, you're probably just going to dump and take off. You know what I mean?
Run Trotter, pre-mine
Hey,
or rewards?
either way, it's better than the ICOs where
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not
they're
wrong.
just like, hey, we're going to make a shitload of tokens and then we're going to dump them on you forever. And it still boggles the mind that people fucking bought those things. So I'm so happy that it seems that we're seeing a resurgence in POW because it's just effort and fairness returning to crypto after the massive raccoon infestation that we've been dealing with since 2017. And I like some of these new projects that you guys are talking about here and turning me on to. So
wait a second,
Camps, man.
Wait. Let me get this straight. Don't like ICOs because they're fully pre-mined and shit, and a lot of supply, yada yada. While you are an investor in more, where we don't know how much of the total supply is even circulating.
Oh no, we do. I have a pretty good idea. If you look at their homepage,
I rest my case. Dude.
listen, I'm not going to say I'm not weak. But no, I've kind of assumed that that full 300,000 or 30 million supply could be out there. But the difference between that project, and I'm not trying to shill my bags here much,
Do it.
And a lot of the other ICOs is that there's something going on. There's, physical locations in the real world, which is a lot better than a white paper. But still, I will say that was the exception that I made. It was an ICO, but it was on Bittrex. So there's the part of me that is loyal to Bittrex that thought, they're not going to release anything that's going to dump for 2 years. pull the chart up and you can look and see how it dumped for 2 years, please.
Next slide.
Next slide. Hey, look, I can show you right on the chart where I lost my ass. Hold on.
Jesus Christ. That is disgusting.
Oh God, it's so rough. I mean, but at the same time, you know, like I'll let me quote that song from like 20 years ago because I'm old. I love the girls and the money and the shame of life.
So I was a buyer here, actually.
Were you?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I tossed it because it broke down. Because that's what I do when it breaks down. I'm not in it anymore. Fuck bag holding.
Yeah, this is one that I averaged down, so I'm not actually as bad off as I could have been because, again, you know, it's like I believe in it far more than I believe in a lot of the bullshit that was out there. And like when I say ICOs, like crooked ICOs, I'm talking about the kind of thing. I don't know if you guys saw that article where the Chinese lady was, I can't remember her name for God's sakes, but she was talking about how they would have like, you know, actors being the development team and taking pictures of actors pretending to be professors and stuff to make ICOs to list on exchanges that I'm not going to mention.
You mean
whereas this is like a product. I mean, I don't know how many these locations there are. There's like 20 of them, I think, and you can go party there and pay with the coin and have fun, or if you're into having fun with like the kind of fun.
Say it.
Oh my God, you're gonna get me in so much trouble.
Yep. I am the shenanigator.
I know. God,
So
I hope my lady doesn't listen to this. I'm gonna have my ass is gonna be in a sling.
So Ambroid, that triangle is where you were buying?
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you because that's about where I exited after averaging down. So I'm not going to say that you bought my bags exactly, but there's a high chance that you bought my bags.
Yeah, it might be, but I guarantee you I lost less.
Hey, you know, they actually just added models. You know, they're like a model.
Dude, you know what models actually are in LA, right? I mean, come on, man.
Women?
No. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Sure.
It's down
shit.
and sins.
We can't. Oh, we can't. We're gonna get rated by Vice or some shit.
I hope we do. We would be more popular.
Oh fuck, man.
Wait.
Oh.
Hold on, there's somebody at my door.
No, fuck this. I'm out of the country, bitches. I'm gone.
All
This
right.
is why I wear a mask. Fuck you.
Okay, I just want to say fuck you, Ambroid, for bringing that up. Thanks.
Yep.
You can always rely on me. So let's talk about Velas. Any of you guys know it?
Who?
Velas.
No. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
What is this garbage?
Jesus Christ! Look at that.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh man, this is on Keytrade actually. You guys probably you guys revere fucking Keytrade and you don't even know it's listed there.
Yeah, my bad.
You guys. So what is this? Just everybody with a quarter Bitcoin pump a fucking shitcoin day? Because did you see the fucking shenanigans going on Trade Ogre today? Like, what the fuck?
No.
Like I said, everybody with a quarter Bitcoin just said, you know what? I'm going to swing my dick today.
Dude, Mocho's tweeting about it. Something going on.
What, Velas?
No,
no,
trader.
no. I'm just talking about random ass fucking obscure shitcoins pumping in general today on Trade Ogre.
Well, this is not today. This is like the past, what, 2 weeks or something?
Boobity boobity, you know, whatever.
Yeah, so this one's interesting. I actually know the guys behind it. Um, this is proof of work masternode coin,
Oh,
and each
Interesting.
masternode is supposed to be a VPN server. So you'll have a VPN marketplace based on masternodes. So you could rent individual server, like a VPN server, say in France or whatever, and you know exactly how good the SLA is and how much bandwidth you're getting beforehand. So that's what they're doing. It's an interesting one. I actually like it. I think it's like one of the few good use cases for masternodes. There's like a lot of useless stuff being built on top of masternodes.
speaking of which, yeah, I think the gin platform went down this week, right? Which is like
Oh boy,
a no
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that did.
So it
I mean,
kind of
like the project's still alive, but their master hosting is gonna die. Yeah.
jeez, look at that.
Ouch.
But yeah, I
Ouch,
mean, I
indeed.
think from what I got from their statement, basically the mastodon market's turned down. Not as many people using their service. They're now losing money based on the price that they're offering people. It's a profit loss model going forward, no matter what. So I think they just decided to cut their losses now rather than keep it going, I guess.
I
Yeah,
disagree.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know how true this is because I didn't verify it, so obviously, you know, whatever. But I did see somebody say that they bought a gin masternode for 5,600 and now it's worth $56.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Okay, so um, they run a masternode hosting service. They were like the first big network for that.
Yeah.
But afterwards, they got way undercut by competition. So it means that they've got bad stick because they cannot properly optimize how the VPS is run, or they don't have their own physical infrastructure, so they can be easily undercut. So that's how I view Jin from one point of view, and second point there is that um, you've got thousands of masternodes hosted on your platform.
Mm-hmm.
They earn their Jin, they pay for their rental with their Jin coin. You, as a developer, are left with a lot of Jin coin, while you know it's inflating at something like 80%
Yeah.
per year. Of course, you're gonna dump your Jin immediately instead of hoarding it, and then you even get where was it? Where was the hack? Uh, they got hacked somewhere over here or whatever,
Yeah.
and one of their Jin wallets was stolen from. That was like a good couple thousand Jin coin there. So yeah, it was a matter of time for this one because it was a real service, but it was too expensive for what it did.
And I think this is a good example of like people are too quick to cry the word scam when they want to say something else. I think there's a prime example of something that had a business model. They, pushed ahead with it. They then realized they couldn't either, like you said, be competitive as someone else to buy their own infrastructure. They probably couldn't do it on the budget they're working with. They pretty much saw the writing on the wall. And someone said in the chat, maybe better to say it's a bad investment. And I agree with that because then, this isn't, you know, something they've outright kind of said, oh, we're going to try this and purposely make it fail. It's like any business in life. I think they say the business success rate is like 10% or maybe lower or something like that. So, you know, it's no different in crypto in the sense that sometimes people try things, doesn't work. And unfortunately, because there's usually majority of the time people who invested a, you know, a financial element into that coin, as long as an emotional element, you know, people then tend to see it as, oh, I've lost my money. And now it's a scam. Well, you know, not always the case, and I think it's a prime example of it. Someone said in the chat, it's a good point. McAfee was an ambassador for gin. Wasn't that Lux? He was an ambassador for.
He was ambassador for Lux and Skycoin.
Yeah.
He's even got a Skycoin tattoo or
Tattoo,
something.
yeah.
And then didn't he break off his ambassadorship with Skycoin after that?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, the Skycoin dev is like the craziest dev that's still alive in crypto.
Yeah, this is another one of those. You remember this from Via, right? This is like where you get the fuck out.
Oh shit! I mean, so yeah. Has anyone kind of had an update on what's going on with Sky? I believe he was trying to build like a Skynet or something. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I think that peak in May was the Binance listing, right?
This one.
Yeah, or was it?
Yes.
I think it was, wasn't it?
That was the Binance listing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much been on a downtrend ever since it hit its peak in terms of, you know, right. I mean, while we're talking about this, I'm just going to bring this up. So, people are always quick to say to the dev, get it on exchange. You need this exchange. You need that exchange. Right. This guy got the coin on Binance. What has happened to this coin price-wise since? You know, take that into reflection every time you hassle a dev about getting on a big exchange. Is it worth it? He spent probably, you know, X amount getting this on there. Look what's happened to his coin price-wise since. You know, is it worth it?
Yeah, that money could have been spent elsewhere instead.
Right, you know, development, maintenance, staff.
You could probably hire like 2 devs full-time.
Easily. You know, I mean, just even saying it in another way, this obviously is not financial advice or whatever, or not condone a dev doing this. He's probably better off putting the money as buy support on his coin than getting it listed on a massive exchange so people can dump it. Does that make sense? You know, that money goes to waste and no one really benefits, apart from maybe people on that first day who are able to dump it. Project does not gain any traction.
Yeah, so these levels, they're all ICO prices. So this was the ICO price, 50,000 Satoshi. And this is like 7x or something, 6x that was repeatedly rejected. And now it's down 75% from ICO and BTC terms. So that's very sad, you know?
It's true. Sometimes having more liquidity is not a blessing.
YOLO!
Is NANO the same?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Top, I think.
Oh,
yeah, I
shit.
think so. I think so. It's basically the same issue.
God damn.
God damn it, that December run-up.
Just amazing.
That's just crazy. And this was such a minefield to hold. Like, you could either get fucked up by Cryptopia, not giving you your coins. You could get fucked up by Bitcrail hack or insolvency, so you could even probably sell there, but you couldn't withdraw the BTC afterwards. Then there was a web wallet hack. Only then was Binance listing. So even if you bought somewhere over here at the 600 sats and you got 35 1,000% return that's like dreamed of by people, but you had to hold off through some tough shit to get there.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, this is like the coin with 9 lives, right? You
And
fucking
this
have to
is
get
like
through a lot of
2 years, like 2.5 or 3 years of accumulation that's just not shown here because there were no exchanges.
Yeah, I mean, someone made a good point in the comment. Nowadays, people ask in the Discord brand new coins for a Binance listing when it's only 3 days old. Well, look at that. Look at what happens on a Binance listing, people. Is this what you want? You know?
Well, there's nothing to look forward to after the Binance listing.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
the big
exactly.
event. There's nothing to look forward to.
The pinnacle. It's like the coin is reaching its climax. You know?
That's it. CZ got paid, and the devs dump, and the bye-bye.
That's the
Next.
money shot, baby.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's the startup exit.
Because that's exactly what the fuck's going on. Oh, Jesus.
Kind of coming up to an hour now, so I don't know if we maybe want to kind of start wrapping up
Yeah,
things.
let's wrap up.
And
Good guy.
I was just going to say, this time of the show, we usually spend a few minutes just going over what's been going on, what coins been looking at the last week, what we've been mining, whatever. Does anyone want to kind of start on that? Okay, I'll go then. So I mentioned it a few weeks ago. I got my rigs back working at home again now. It's been fucking hard with this last week. It's unseasonably hot in Europe, especially in the UK, so I had to turn them off a few days. But interesting coin that I seen last week called PEXA, PEXA. One thing I liked about it, very basic, but the dev was transparent. Makes a massive difference. So again, like, for all aspiring proof of work devs out there, just putting a name and a picture to your project on the end makes a big difference. No one cares what you look like. We just want to know that someone real's behind it. Again, he gave a little bit about himself. Just a little bit about the project. Let me pull up the end. But I think basically what they're looking to do is build dApps or small applications where people can kind of build applications in the crypto space without much tech knowledge. So I think their first one that they're looking to build is a pool building app. So the idea being, dev launches his coin. He's then at kind of a whim of the right pools picking it up, timing, etc. It's really nice, I feel anyway, whenever I mine a coin, if the dev has a native pool, it helps fund him as well. So it's another funding mechanism. So that's the first thing this project's working on. There's a bit of an issue with the launch. In some people's eyes, I don't really have an issue with it. Again, it's dependent on the people who are working to look at these coins and see when they come out. So yeah, a little bit about that. I like PEXA, mining it at the moment. It's an X16R algo, so yeah, I just got to find the right settings on my rig now. It's been a while.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Exactly, yeah. I'm doing the hard bit. This is going on and off, so I think I need some more RAM. They've got 8 gig in there at the moment, so I'll go and get another 2 sticks and do stuff.
That should be enough.
Yeah, I thought so.
You're on
Yeah,
8 gig.
then I'm thinking 16 maybe, because I remember mining Raven and
Killing it, just underclock the cards.
yeah, that's
It's
another thing.
probably one of the algos killing the card.
I think so, because it just resets.
You don't need RAM, you just need to underplug more.
Yeah, I think so. So that's a coin I'm mining, and then one coin I bought this week. Been very picky the last couple of months on buying coins. Ironically, mentioned it to my colleague on Android the other night. Is Own CHX. What I like about this platform is looking to basically bring funding to small and medium enterprises. Just having a discussion with my girlfriend the other day about businesses are always looking to grow, and their traditional funding mechanism is usually the bank. Bank don't give a shit about small and medium business. If anything, they rip them off more than they would do a conglomerate, and they put a lot of hidden insurances in there that the people are obligated to take. What I like about this mechanism, it combines 2 things. It's a crowdfunding platform, so it gives the average man the chance to get in. Also combines it with crypto as well, which is nice. So yeah, that's a project I'll just say, timing wise, looked at the chart the other day. Timing looked nice, and yeah, it's kind of looking nice at the moment, but it's still early days on this project. I believe they're looking to launch a decentralized stock exchange in Q4 of this year. So again, I think this may be more of a long-term hold than something, just to kind of look at and get in and out quickly. Yeah, that's me.
So looking at the chart real quick, this looks like the start maybe. So a deep retrace now to retest this level over here, like so. Looks very similar otherwise.
Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it does. And I think that lines up nicely because I think the resistance pretty much is all the way up to, I think it's 2,000 Satoshis is the last real sort of sell wall. So yeah, that kind of looks very similar. If this was to break out now and kind of claim.
Something like this.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
This is very-
So yeah, I mean, kind of, I came across this. Someone had mentioned it. Spent a little time looking in. So again, it just goes to show there's opportunity available in crypto all the time. Sometimes you just got to put a bit of work in and time it right, and you don't really have to do much more than that.
Yeah. So from me, I've looked at Arrow, but decided not to mine it for now. Just because we would be getting less revenue than compared to Mochimo. We've just been mining Mochimo for the last couple of months. So skipped on Arrow for now, maybe a bit later. Gonna be watching it, see if net hash drops off. Other than that, I bought Phantom. Somewhere over here. We'll see if it keeps going. And yesterday I bought the FTX token. That's the FTX exchange. I know that I've got the first seed round dumping on me at 10x. I didn't know about it back then. I don't even know if I would be able to get in, and I want exposure to it because I really like the exchange. It's like the first exchange in half a year that got me excited.
Can we bring it up just while we're talking about it, in case people don't know? Because I really like the index future that they've got. And when people see it, if you've not seen it, they'll laugh.
I would say so. Shitcoin index.
And look, they've got a bullshit and then a bear shit as well. So
It's like 3x shitcoin index, and bear shit is the 3x short shitcoin index. So this is composed of whatever is listed on both Huobi and Binance.
ooh, so it's kind of Chinese exchanges.
Well, it's kind of like all the big cap altcoins are exclusive to Binance and Huobi.
It makes sense.
So it's going to be like a good index to be exposed to when altcoins start going up, because there's bound to be stuff on Binance and Huobi that's going to bump.
I agree. And just kind of a heads up for anyone who doesn't know how an index works. It basically just takes like a composition of all its coins that it's got in the index and just basically aggregates it. So, if, let's say, if you're a trader, I'm just trying to recall. So now you've mentioned about in a bull season. I'm just trying to recall 2017. So a super bull season. There's so many things going up at once that sometimes it's just hard to keep a track of it. So this is where, an index like this becomes perfect. You expose yourself to the index and the coins are going up left, right, and center, and you're making money from the least amount of work possible.
It's also good now all shitcoins obviously are super volatile and more or less subject to the same market forces, but it's still good to be diversified. So, if a couple of them pump real hard, you don't miss out on that either.
Yeah, you can just keep going, SoCal. I'm done with my recap.
I have been mining Arrow. So there's that. dirty little secret this past week. I actually started playing with some legacy market plays just because low hanging fruit. Why leave money on the table, you know? And started playing with some of those investing apps and checking them out, seeing what's what. So that's what I did this past week. Besides Mine Arrow, that's basically it.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in those investing apps, you can head over to my feed. I did a quick overview on them and first impressions and all that kind of stuff, and I'll update it as I use them more. So
how about you, Entroker?
Oh
Close
boy,
it off.
after you just dragged my ass through the coals over my more holding. Not a whole lot really. I'm kind of just sitting in pretty much the same positions I was in last week. I mean, I think maybe one thing I wanted to touch on a little bit to close it out was that we talked just a little bit about last week was the pink token that Binance came out with. And you could maybe pull the pink chart up real quick, but Binance came out with this pink token, charity token, and I just saw a tweet actually that said that there was questions about how transparent it was. But I'm just trying to figure out where they got the idea to do that, because we've had pink coin for many, many years now, which has been an effective charity token. Tens of thousands of dollars have been donated to charity through this token. As far as I can see, the development team is still there. Some really good people in crypto are involved in it. If you want to DYOR it, I think you'll find that out. And it's one I've just been sitting on and staking for a long time. And I don't know. I like the price here. If I was going to accumulate more, if I didn't have enough, I might consider doing that. Especially given that for some reason Binance thinks that pink equals charity. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, I don't know if what you could say about this chart other than it looks just like just about every other altcoin chart.
It's nice. It's holding these accumulation levels,
Yeah.
like these old 2015, 2016 levels. That's what it's holding.
Yep. So that's me. I mean, I'm sitting on that, and it might be nice to if you have any charitable giving you want to do to take advantage of this, and then I don't know, maybe look into the Binance token. Who knows? Maybe it's legit. Maybe it's not. I can't say that I've looked into it enough to be able to make a judgment call. It was just seemed a little odd that they would choose the same name. So maybe their FA guys were researching what charity and that means in English and came up with pink as being the word for charity. So there you go. I can't say any more than that about it. I'll just stop.
All right, let's close it up there. We did have one last question. Where is Dom?
Where is Dom?
Dom is with his grandma, and she didn't want to be on the show, so he's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, soon, Dom's grandma.
All right.
All right,
Well,
guys.
Next time then, right?
Yeah.
Next show with Dom's grandma.
Yeah, Dom's grandma and grandpa are OGs, man. His grandpa especially is an OG. But we'll let him tell that story.
Yeah.
They're all in Zach.
Thank
Right
you
on
for
that
being
note,
here.
guys.
Later.
Thanks, everyone.
Later.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.